Get those reactions ready. The show is about to begin.
Yeah. Nestor has mustaches on his shoes. Swing and a miss. High fly ball, right field. Castellanos back on the track, at the wall. See ya. Driven deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. A long home run off the bat of Anthony Rizzo.
Came in at 98 miles an hour. Went out at 106.
Today is Monday, April 3rd, 2023, and the Philadelphia Phillies are in town to kick off a 3-game set, and they were trying to earn their first victory of the season. It was also the season debut of fan favorite Nasty Nestor Cortes, a junior. It's also the first night game of the season. My recap and your reactions coming up next. This is NYY Recaps.
Welcome.
Just when they thought I would know, they pull me back in.
Welcome back, everybody. How's it going? I got to fix the LED behind me. Set that up. You so nasty, Nestor Cortes. What a night. I just read that NASA is sending some astronauts back to the moon. I must have missed all of this news, but I'm not sure if they're looking for the Giancarlo Stanton home run from yesterday, but I think there's a good chance they'll find it. Listen, tonight was a good one. That was what Eminem would call a good old-fashioned passionate ass-whooping, and the Phillies got their shoes, their coat, and their hat tooken.
Oh, there goes gravity.
Total beat down in the Bronx. And look, there's something special about that first game under the lights each season. It's just sort of this like ineffable charm about the way Yankee Stadium looks at night when it's all lit up. And especially when the stadium is rocking, it's amazing. And it was rocking tonight. So for those of you who may be a little bit skeptical about the new rules, the initial data is in. Batting averages are up about 15 points. We're seeing more hits. Yankees picked up 9 hits tonight. Philadelphia picked up 11 hits. Game time is down. I can't remember doing many games before 10 o'clock last season. And I think it's pretty much all positive. Stolen bases are up. I mean, I'm liking the rule changes so far. But speaking of rule changes, it's worth noting that today was the 50-year anniversary of the first DH in Major League Baseball, and it was a Yankee, Ron Blomberg, who threw out the first pitch for tonight's game. Mr. Guy Name says, "We play today, we win today. That's it," as Mariano Duncan would say. So tonight was big. We got Nestor Cortes back. But in addition to Nestor Cortes, it was the first starts of the season for both Aaron Hicks and Franchy Cordero. Hicks has been complaining about not starting. So tonight, he gets an opportunity and does absolutely nothing. Listen, if you're Aaron Hicks at this point, you really have to at least be considering steroids, right? I mean, it has to have crossed his mind. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm saying your career is circling the drain here, man. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? You get suspended, you end up playing golf for a couple months. You're probably going to do that anyway. Frankie Baseball with the tweet of the night, in my opinion. He said the only thing that Aaron Hicks should be starting is packing. Oh, I love it. I love it. But yeah, Nestor was extremely sharp out there tonight. Great right from the very beginning of the game. Phillies lineup is kind of discombobulated right now. They don't have Hoskins. They don't have Harper. But it is what it is. And Nestor was dealing. He's one of those guys that, you know, he makes the hitters kind of scream in frustration a lot. I think they have to turn down the field mic when he's out there pitching because, you know, he looks like you should crush him. He's not throwing that hard. And from the dugout, you're thinking, oh man, I'm going to light this guy up. And then you get up there and the ball just moves just a little bit at the last second. And you break your bat or pop up to shortstop and you're just saying, Fah! It's just what it is. I mean, that's baseball. Greg Maddux was like that. Very comfortable 0 for 4 is what they used to say for Greg Maddux. And I feel like Nestor Cortes is a very comfortable 0 for a lot of times. Great night for Nestor Cortes. 5 innings, 7 hits, 1 run, no walks, 3 strikeouts. He picks up his first win of the season. DJ LeMahieu looked great tonight. He got things started with a triple. It was initially ruled a base hit and a 2-base error. It was a hard line drive, and Brandon Marsh must have tripped over his beard or something. He let the ball get right by him. Judge followed up with a walk, and that extended his on-base streak to 37 games. As Joe Girardi would say, it's what you want. Rizzo walked to load the bases with nobody out, and then Giancarlo's up, and you're thinking right out of the gate, grand slam. But instead, he hit a little ground out, but the Yankees took the lead. Later in the inning, Glaber reached on an infield single to make it 2-0, and the game was over at that point. We didn't know it, obviously, but the game was over at that point. After that, Nestor settled in. Scoreless second, scoreless third. Bottom 3, Glaber Torres using right field again and keeping it 100.
There it goes. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone.
Second home run of the year for Torres. I have one on the board here. He actually hit one on opening day, so I got to change that. He's got 2 home runs now. We got to fix that. Hey, it's early in the season, guys. You know, it is what it is. Mistakes are going to happen. But very nice night for Glaber Torres. He was on base all night, drew some walks. Just really, really good night. It's nice that he got his 100th home run at home, but the Yankees are going to Baltimore later this week. So, you know, it would have been apropos if he hit one against Baltimore, who he's got about, I don't know, maybe 95 of the rest of his 100 home runs against. Phillies got to Nestor for a run in the 4th. That made it 3-1. Interesting play in the top of the 5th. Runner on second, 2 outs, base hit to right field, and Franchy Cordero came up and made a Clint Frazier level throw. I mean, this was a horrible throw. Just airmailed the entire freaking infield. But Nestor Cortes was behind home plate, and he was backing up. And he caught it on the fly and made a real quick throw to third base to nail the runner who's headed back. Weird play. Combination of one of the worst throws you'll ever see and a great heads-up play by the pitcher. Great tag on the back end by DJ LeMahieu. 2 batters later. DJ LeMahieu, actually, he led off the next inning. 110-mile-an-hour line drive single up the middle. His second hit of the night. I think he might be back. It's just going to be a tightrope keeping him healthy, but he looks like he's got some force in his swing again. Couple of batters later, Anthony Rizzo.
On the track at the wall. Anthony Rizzo.
Don't you ever come back here again.
2-run shot, second deck. Only question was whether or not it was fair or foul, but it was fair. And it was a down and in pitch, and that's trouble for lefties at Yankee Stadium. I mean, it's just a bad pitch, and he annihilated it. Later in the inning, Franchy Cordero smoked a 2-run double into the right field gap. He strikes out a lot, but he's got some serious bat speed. And is it just me, or does he look like, you know, somebody gave Estevan Florial some Captain America serum? I mean, he just looks like a more jacked version of Estevan Florial. Hit one 490 feet in batting practice. Doesn't count in batting practice. It's like when they say the field goal guy, oh, he hit some 65 yards in practice. Do it in a game and I'll be impressed. I mean, I'm still impressed, but I'll be more impressed. Trevino singled in Cordero to make it 8-1, and it was just paperwork after that. Ian Hamilton just added to the roster. By the way, Johnny Brito sent down. Not a big deal. He's not going to be needed for a bit. The Yankees don't need a 5th starter for a while. But he was sent down. Hamilton replaced him on the roster. Showed good stuff. 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Good sharp breaking ball. Ran into a little bit of trouble. but Jonathan Loizaga came in and got him out of it on one pitch. Johnny Lasagna. He's going to be huge this year. He got off to a rough start last year, and this year he's come out of the gates looking fantastic. Judge picked up a base hit in the 8th inning. He's 7 for 17 this year. That's a .412 average. If only he could hit for power. Yankees hang on to win a nail-biter by a score of 8-1.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win.
Nobody beats the Riz, says Tyler Riggs.
You're a winner.
All right, a lot of candidates for the belt tonight. I considered Rizzo. You know, he had the big home run. I considered Nestor Cortes, but there were a lot of votes in the chat for the guy who was on base 5 times tonight, Mr. Glaber Torres.
Belt winner.
I do want to give an honorable mention, though, to Nestor Cortes. He pitched just fantastic first time out. We didn't expect him to go deep into the game. I don't know how many pitches he threw. Maybe it's in my notes here. But let's see, pitches and strikes. He threw 80 pitches. So I figured before the game he was going to throw about 70. So he went a little bit further than we expected. But, you know, he looked like Nestor. He didn't do as much funky stuff. Didn't really need to. He was pretty much on cruise control. Looked like the cutter was working. The fastball was, you know, sneaky. His command was obviously great. No walks. So it's what you want. Tyler H. with another great point. He says that Clay Holmes looked really good tonight, and he really did.
Hey.
That last breaking pitch to end the game was filthy. John Laycock says Volpe with 2 nice walks tonight. Yeah, I thought Volpe showed a lot of patience. We're still waiting for that first long ball. Late in the game, they brought in a left-handed pitcher who has kind of a big slider. And I thought that maybe if he hung one, Volpe would turn on one right there. You know, you had a big lead. That's a good shot to try and like swing from the heels, but he didn't get a hanger. He actually pitched him pretty tough, but I think he ended up drawing a walk. Sean Fell says, at what point do Yankees fans stop talking about a Torres trade and accept that he is an extension candidate? He definitely is an extension candidate, especially if he continues to play well. Now, the payroll is higher than I think the Yankees want it to be, honestly. I mean, it's up near $300 million, and Hal has said it shouldn't take $300 million. And Glaber Torres, there's no way he's not going to get a $20 million contract. I mean, he's young, and he's got a ton of power. He's going to be entering free agency in his prime. I think he benefits from playing at Yankee Stadium more than he would benefit playing anywhere else, just because we mentioned he used the right field porch really well. But he really does have a lot of trade value. The Yankees don't have a lot of other young tradable pieces that I think other teams would want, that the Yankees would also be willing to give up. And I think if somebody took Glaber Torres off your hands, you know, you could slide Peraza back into the infield. But, you know, there's also the chance that the Yankees could trade Peraza and try and go get a pitcher. Last year, the Yankees had a chance to go out and get Luis Castillo at the deadline. They didn't do it. They would have had to trade Volpe, so I'm glad they didn't. But this year, they're not going to have that reservation about trading Peraza. You know, if there's an ace type pitcher that somehow comes available, I think the Yankees would move Peraza in the right deal. Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights and box score here. All right, let's start with the highlights. Yankees won this one going away. Shout out to Frankie Baseball. Helps out with the highlights. All right, we're going to start with Nestor here. He had the mustaches on his shoes. I love that. This is against Schwarber. High fastball, no chance. Just blows it right by him. High spin rate. This is DJ smoking one to center field and gets right by him, goes all the way to the wall. DJ off to the races, makes it to third base. Excited. This was Giancarlo. Tries to pull an outside slider. That's what happens. He had a slow roller to short. Gets thrown out, but gets the run in. This is Glaber. Bouncing one back towards the mound. Walker can't make the play. Gets away. Run scores 2-0. And like I said, that was the game. Nestor was dealing. There's the inside fastball for a strike, 94. There's the high fastball at 91. There's Glaber. Inside half of the plate, 95 miles an hour, and he barrels it up, sends it about 5 rows deep to right field. Great swing, keeps the hands in, head level, just looks so much better this year. You see the exit velocity, 101 miles an hour, 32-degree launch angle. This is later on. This is a base hit that put the Phillies on the board. Only run that Nestor surrendered. This was the throw home that just airmailed, shades of Clint Frazier. Fires back to third, and Nestor gets him. Look at the quick tag by DJ. Just slams that glove right down. That's the type of stuff that wins you a gold glove. It doesn't show up in the box score. And like we said, DJ's back, ropes this one up the middle for a base hit. And then Anthony Rizzo. Take me to your leader. Second deck. 5 rows deep. Beautiful swing. Beautiful. This is Franchi Cordero. That was 99 low and in, but we talked about the low and in danger zone to lefties. Smokes it for a base hit. And then Trevino with a base hit, and the Yankees win this one. All right, let's take a look at the box score. Mentioned earlier, 11 hits for Philadelphia, 9 hits for the Yankees. Nestor with 5 innings, 1 earned run, picks up his first W of the year. You see Judge hitting .412 with a 1.209 OPS. Torres, 1.362 OPS, leads the team. And Rizzo with a 1.167 OPS so far this season. Scoreless innings from Hamilton, Loizaga, and Holmes. So the bullpen did a very nice job. And the Yankees are 3-1. All right, let's get to more of your comments. And, of course, the first one is Hicks. Hicks sucked tonight. You guys just don't let up.
Absolutely. Hey.
Alrighty then.
Kevin Budge says, Clay with 3 straight sliders was crazy. Yeah, you don't see him throw the slider a lot. He's a guy who throws the hard sinker. And, he's got a good slider. He pretty much stopped throwing it when he first got traded to the Yankees from the Pirates. But you have to imagine that he's going to mix it in more this year because everybody's looking for that sinker. Siciliano also says he likes Ian Happ and Corbin Burns. Let's see how Oswaldo Cabrera does. We might not need a left fielder at that point. Charles Barkley says Glaber might have an MVP year. That would be beautiful. Wardy, shout out to Mr. Wardy. Let's hear a round of applause. Wardy covers the Mets. Great channel. Says, thanks for helping my parlay. Great content as always. And Wardy has great content, some of the highest production value as well. I had to hit him up today about something. He's got a ticker on his screen that shows all the scores in the rest of the league, and I wanted to do that, but it's not going to work for me. But shout out to Wardy. I like Wardy. Let's see here. John Daniel Munoz prognosticated that Judge would hit a double, but he didn't, and so he's out $10. I tell you what, there's a lot of sports betting going on, and you hear more and more about it. I just hope that it doesn't get any worse. I feel like the betting stuff is everywhere now. It's a little bit, I don't know. It just feels like it's too much, like it's invading the game too much. They used to really separate the sports from the betting, and now it seems kind of intertwined. It seems like you're just asking for some kind of a scandal at some point. Jeremy Schatzer says, Aaron Hicks jogs after balls hit to him, and it pisses me off. He's also still lost at the plate. Other than that, though, it was a great win. THG says, Wardy is the only Mets channel I sub to, and I agree.
I hardly agree.
Frankie Baseball pointing out that Glaber picked up his 6th belt of the year.
Alrighty then.
Brett Deutsch with the super chat. Appreciate that. Says, JD coming off the book, Sevy not coming back. Do we extend Glaber and maybe trade Peraza for a young mid-rotation starter with an upside to replace Sevy? I could see that. I mean, you're talking $25 million coming off the books for JD. I think Severino is making about $10 million this year. I think he signed a 4-year, $40 million. I think that's what it was. I mean, I might be off by a little bit. So you're thinking $35 million come off the books? I mean, yeah, maybe you use some of that money to re-sign Glaber Torres, especially if you got one of the young pitchers. I mean, really where teams spend the most of their money is, on those 5 starting rotation spots. I mean, if you look at it, the Yankees have Garrett Cole with 30 plus million and Rodon 20 plus million. If Severino gets a big contract, it's probably going to be 20 plus million a year. I don't think you want to give him that money just because he can't stay healthy. He has to prove he can stay healthy. I'm in favor of going with one of the kids. I really liked what I saw from Johnny Brito. I don't know if he would get through a whole season with the repertoire that he had yesterday. I think he needs one more pitch. He's got 2 good pitches right now. He needs a third. Clark Schmidt, I'm not sold that he can be a starter yet. I got to see the stamina. The stuff, I think, is ready. The first couple innings, he looked good. The stuff, I think, is there. I want to see the stamina. It sure would be nice to have Ken Waldichuk coming up or J.P. Sears.
Game over, man. It's game over. I gotta get out of here.
Siciliano.
You gotta go.
Another great comment says, Gallo's good for other teams, but couldn't handle the Yankees. Gallo he has 3 home runs in the last 2 days. I saw the tweet tonight with the highlight. Unbelievable that this guy, can hit at all. Just couldn't do it with the Yankees, and it's a shame. It is what it is. Andrew Calabria, the comment of the night, because it's very true. He says, health is the only thing keeping us from a World Series. 100%. Eric C. says, when is Heel coming back from surgery? He'll be back later this season, but I wouldn't count on him being a major factor until probably next year. When you first come back from Tommy John surgery, a lot of times the control isn't there. It takes a little bit of time. But the good news is velocity is generally up right out of the gate. So you might get Luis Heel throwing 101, 102 out of the gate next year. So that'll be a ton of fun. Brett Deutsch says, Rays find cheap starters every year.
Absolutely. Hey.
They really do. They find a way. But I have confidence that at least the bullpen will continue to be good. And if you got, 3 really good starters and a lockdown bullpen, that's enough to get you through a playoff series most of the time. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a night. Yankees win this one. They are 3-1. Game 2 of the set tomorrow night.
Hey, everybody. If you've made it this far, we thank you. If you'd like to support NYY Recaps, please like and subscribe or pay a visit to our Shopify store for some great Yankees merch.
Yes.
If you're watching on YouTube, the link is in the description. But if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, just visit NYYRecaps.shop. If you really want to support NYY Recaps and help keep the show going year after year, join up as a member.
Join us.
It's $5, and members get their names up in lights during each post-game show. We're also on all podcast platforms, Instagram, and Twitch this year. So give us a follow if you use any of those platforms. We're expanding, and we have you to thank for making this such a great community. We'll see you next time.
It is your destiny.
Case closed.
Ball game over.
Most impressive.